Remember watching Rugrats on VHS? Well, if you already have, then this ought to ring a bell.
Sunday, Monday, happy days.
Ah yes, the sweet sounds of childhood. Not only did I enjoy the song choice that accompanied the clips being shown, but the promo made me want to check out these movies for myself. But then there was one movie in particular that really caught my attention while watching the promo, and that movie was Prehysteria. Growing up, I was obsessed with dinosaurs, and this movie just fueled my imagination for a pet dinosaur of my very own. I tried looking for this movie all over Blockbuster, but to no avail, I could never track down a copy. The closest thing I found relating to the movie are the sequels, but come on, who really wants to watch the sequels before watching the movie that started it all? I finally got the chance to watch this movie when it came out on TV, and I remember liking it as a kid. But now that I am an adult and have the critical thinking skills to determine which is good and bad, does this movie still hold up 20 years later? And furthermore, has anyone else remembered it besides me?
Well, it's funny you should mention that because I never grew up with this movie, nor even heard about it.
Wait, really? You haven't seen this movie? But I thought you were from the 90s. I thought that all little boys loved dinosaurs growing up during that time.
I never really got into dinosaurs as much as other little boys did. If anything, I kind of thought dinosaurs were lame.
You take that back! It's okay, baby. Don't listen to that mean man. I still love you.
Look, I don't want to sound too critical here. If there's anything positive I can say about it, the dinosaur animatronics look rather nice for what it's worth. I probably would have found them the most enjoyable part of the movie.
While there are some awkward moments where they changed from animatronic dinosaurs to stop motion ones, the special effects held up incredibly well after all of these years, and considering that this was made on a shoestring budget, it's not that half bad either. It's just a shame that the sequels massively downgrade in quality over time. And trust me, we will get to the sequels soon enough. But for now, that's neither here or there.
The big question is, does it hold up as well as it does with its special effects?
Well, there's only one way to find out. Alright, so the movie starts out in South America, where we see a museum curator looking to capitalize on a new display to attract customers. Apparently, what he's planning on bringing back is considered so sacred that even mentioning the name is able to scare off the white people in sombreros. I mean, the natives to this land. Seriously, not even low-budget straight-to-video movies are safe from whitewashing. We're briefly introduced to our quote-unquote heroes of the movie, only to have them cut back and forth between their subplot and the villain's subplot.
I would have been fine if they would have shown one subplot before showing the next, but no, they kept cutting back and forth, which makes it all more confusing from a narrative standpoint. But anyway, we are introduced to the Taylor family, who are just about as cookie cutter as a 90s sitcom family can get, and their acting skills aren't that great either. Now, I will give a pass to the actor who plays the son, since he's the only one who's trying to give it his all, but the same can't be said about the father and sister duo of the movie.
Seriously, not only can she not act her way out of a paper bag, but she tries way too hard to imitate the stereotype of what Hollywood executives think teenage girls act like, and it comes off as totally cringeworthy to watch as well.
Guy, can I have any peace in this house?
Well, if you keep on talking, I'm guessing that none of us are gonna get any peace and quiet around here. Now, are we?
And as far as the dad goes, well, how should I put this in the nicest way possible? Oh yeah, he acts like an asshole throughout the entire movie. Now, I know it's commonplace to see the over-asserted dad stereotype in every 90s movie, but the way he talks to his kids is just so mean-spirited. It's not like the dad from Beethoven who gets frustrated with all the mischief the dog gets into, or the dad from Casper who's a little overprotective sometimes. This guy's a straight-up dick, even to the point where he insults his son for liking Elvis.
Elvis is dead, Jerry.
Well, not as dead as your wife. And I'm not kidding about that last part either. They actually had the nerve to throw in the dead mother cliche just for good measure. Seriously, how formulaic can this movie even get?
Well, at least they didn't go with the dad falling in love with his coworker trope.
Oh, my.
What?
I think you got an azurite here.
Is that good?
It's great.
You were saying?
I swear, this movie's script is on autopilot.
Screw it. Let's just see what Diet Dennis Nedry is up to now. We see him entering into what looks like the set of Legend of the Hidden Temple, where he comes across 5 dinosaur eggs surrounded by icicles.
Okay, have any of these writers been to South America? There's no way the hot, humid weather in that area would be able to produce icicles inside a temple.
Well, who knows? Maybe he could have stepped into Mr. Freeze's lair. Hey Batman, what say the dinosaurs? The ice cave!
Anyway, the tour guide catches up with the museum curator and threatens to split his throat unless he puts the eggs back where they belong. But before he gives him a good old prison shanking, the museum curator knocks him over the head with the egg without a single crack being shown. Seriously, not even Twisted Tea can withstand that kind of blow.
Meanwhile, back at the Taylor residence, we see Monica sneaking out of the house to go party with some friends, and let's say that Daddy is none too pleased by this.
Like I said, you have no say. You're on probation, young lady.
Dad, I'm jumping bail. I'm running away. I want out.
Open the door, Jerry.
What?
Open the door. Your sister wants out.
Daddy,
There you go. Jump. Jump.
cut it out!
All right, sit back and pipe down. Close the door, Jerry.
He's like Daddy 05, but before the internet. So the father goes to the curator to drop off some fossils because, of course, raisin farmers can become paleontologists, but he accidentally picks up the cooler with the dinosaur eggs in it.
So the dog ends up hatching the eggs, which turn out to be 5 miniature dinosaurs. And yet elementary school science told me that dogs didn't lay eggs. Go figure. The kid ends up finding the miniature dinosaurs in the basement, and I'll be honest, he handles this discovery rather well. If it was me, I would be freaking the hell out.
Well, at least the sister's reactions seem more realistic than the brother's.
Hold it, babe. I just had that fender restrung.
Who calls their sister babe?
Seriously, I would expect somebody from Alabama to talk like that.
Hey!
Oh, I meant, never mind.
Anyway, the two siblings end up hiding the dinosaurs in the basement, but it doesn't take too long for the dad to discover them as they escape from the basement and into the kitchen.
What the? What the hell?
Frankly, this is the best acting anyone has done in this entire film.
Meanwhile, the museum curator discovers that the eggs are no longer in the cooler, and he's hell-bent on getting them back. So much so that he goes as far as to become extremely suspicious of his co-workers.
Your mind is going.
Is it? And where were you when the cat was away? Making like a mouse?
What?
Oh, you're the only one left, Vicky.
Are we sure we're watching a scene from the movie? Because this looks like the beginning to a porno. I mean, the dialogue is set up and delivered so awkwardly that you swear that sounds like a horny couple trying out roleplay for the very first time.
Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw the Brazzers logo pop up anywhere on the screen. So as the dad tries to figure out what to do with the baby dinosaurs, Vicky tries warning him about the museum curator, but he blows her off by doing this.
Come in the house.
No.
Why not?
Give me my keys.
Yo, Ruby.
Give me my keys back.
What keys?
Oh yeah, this guy is quite the perfect gentleman, isn't he?
Meanwhile, down at the basement, Jerry puts on his royalty-free Elvis music, and I'm not gonna lie, this is my favorite part in the entire movie.
Enjoying yourself?
I'm having a blast. Granted, this is a sound-alike of one of Elvis's songs, but still it's a catchy tune at that.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that point. In my opinion, this is probably the most entertaining part of the film. These animatronic creatures having fun down in the basement is truly a high point. Unfortunately, we have to get back to the plot. Goody. He shows Vicky the baby dinosaurs and, okay, it's one thing to have it a secret within your family, but this is the museum curator's assistant. Who's to say that she won't end up double-crossing them? Especially when you have live breathing dinosaurs living in your basement. As far as I'm concerned, they're asking to be put in danger.
Oh, and we also get this unnecessary subplot where Monica gets jealous over Vicky, but it's quickly resolved within one scene later, and it serves no purpose to the plot whatsoever.
Yeah, while you're complaining about that, I'm still wondering how Vicky was able to build an entire greenhouse in under a day. Seriously, how long does it realistically take someone to build something like this? Days? Weeks? Months?
Or maybe the amount of time that it took us to co-write the script. Which I mostly wrote, of course.
Oh, shut up. But conflict seems to rise up as the museum curator threatens the dad with a gun. So just to recap, folks, we have a native threatening the museum curator with a knife, a gun being pulled on the dad, a couple of times where the son says phrases like horny and in heat.
Leave him alone, he's horny.
And yet the VHS box advertises this movie as a delightful, fun-filled romp for kids of all ages. Parental guidance suggested, of course.
His first attempt at threatening the Taylors failed, but he's able to come back for a second time with the aid of a couple of goons who look and act like they missed the audition for Home Alone.
Boss, what do you want me to do with this one? Come on, Richie, let's go. I want you sharecroppers to count to 500. If you don't, if you follow us, I'll kill the new lady of the house.
She seems to really be, fighting these guys off. Apparently she learned self-defense moves from Princess Peach.
Can we turn the heat down a notch or two, Mr. Sono?
No. I mean it, Mr. Sono. I'm gonna pass out. Then do it, punk.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what it's like to be on the set to boldly flee. So, what do our heroes do to save the day? They just sit around and eat breakfast. Like it's a normal day at the farm. However, the kids do get worried about something possibly bad happening to Vicky and the dinosaurs, but the dad responds by being more of a grade A douchebag than he was from the beginning.
Come on, eat. We got grapes to pick.
What about your girl, Dad?
Eat.
Yeah, what about your girlfriend? Are we just gonna sit around here while she rots down there with that greedy slob?
I did not slave over that stove so you two could jaw yourselves to death. Did I not tell you to eat? Now eat. I don't want to have to repeat myself.
Okay, this movie has made me gone from hating this character to despising him with every fiber of my being. But as luck will have it, they come across an article in the newspaper saying the dinosaurs will be displayed in public at the museum. Now this is where I thought the writers were going to try and have a clever plot twist in the movie. I thought Vicky was going to be in on this whole scheme to take back the dinosaurs, which would explain why she didn't even fight off the goons. But unfortunately, I thought a little too highly of these writers. Because they went with another classic trope in every kid's movie, the jealous love interest doing something after finding out that she's with another guy.
We see the museum curator making his big speech in front of the townsfolk before showing off his latest discovery, but it turns out that Vicky and this janitor guy that we barely know that much about end up switching the dinosaurs out with the family's dog.
Where are my babies? Where are my sugar babies? Hey, nobody walks out on me! Nobody! You stole! You're the thief, not me! I'm the one who's trying to change the world! You!
Oh yeah, and the dad punches the museum curator in the face, right in front of two security guards. No such thing as assault in family movies, apparently.
And so our film ends with the Taylors driving off with the baby dinosaurs in their possession and living happily ever after.
Wait, but what about the museum curator?
What about him?
Well, he knows where the Taylors live. Couldn't he just go back and get them, or possibly kill them in the process?
You know, that's a really good point. Not only that, but they never thought of moving to a different state, changing their name, getting a restraining order, or nothing. It just abruptly ends right there.
You know what? I'm done trying to put logic into this movie. This movie sucks. Seriously, this is up there with some of the worst family films that I've ever had the misfortune to review. Not only are these characters unlikable, but some of the actors give out two types of performances. Either they're too dim-witted to rub two brain cells together, or worse, too mean-spirited to be in a kid's movie. The positive thing that I can say about this movie is the dinosaur designs are cool, but even that doesn't redeem the movie's poor script, bizarre character motives, and acting that wouldn't make it past community theater. If you grew up watching this movie and had fond memories of it, who's to say that you're wrong for having a different opinion? As for me, however, I wouldn't recommend it even to a child, let alone an adult.
I do agree with some of your points that you made, but I don't see the movie as that bad. I just see it as a generically bad kids movie with a premise that didn't reach its full potential. While the concept does sound good on paper, I just feel like the movie was incredibly rushed to meet the deadline for the Jurassic Park craze. Had this gotten better writers and actors for this movie, we could have gotten a good kids movie that tries to do something different. But nope. All we get is a generic paint-by-numbers kids movie with stock characters, cartoony looking bad guys that make Bulk and Skull look like evil masterminds, and dialogue that is so poorly written where you can take it out of context for being overly sexualized. If you're looking for a dinosaur movie to show the kiddos, I would definitely stick with The Land Before Time. But if you're looking for something to quiet your kids for a few hours, well, you make the judgment call from here.
Well, I may not have liked the movie, but it was a pleasure being on board with you for this review.
Sure was, DickyPoo. It sure was. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say. If you want to see more of ElloDickyPoo's content, then make sure to hit the link in the description down below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.
Flip, flop, a pop, a 2 on.